So let's get right into it. We're going to break down this really fascinating transformation, how a salesperson in one of the most chaotic cities on earth can go from just, well, wandering around to becoming a sharp, strategic planner. And believe me, this isn't just some sales guide. It's a masterclass in how you can take total chaos and build a system out of it.
Right here. This is the sound of a completely wasted day. And you know what? Anyone who's ever worked in a big, bustling city has felt this exact pain. You feel like you're running around all day, you're busy, you're sweating, but at the end of it, you look back and think, what did I actually do today? Almost nothing. It's got to be the most frustrating feeling in the professional world.
So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you actually break out of that cycle of being busy but not productive? Well, that's what we're here for. This explainer lays out a concrete playbook, a whole set of rules and tools designed to do exactly that. Okay, first up, let's meet our anti-hero, the Wanderer. This is the salesperson who kind of cherry-picks their clients. They get a call from a friendly shopkeeper way over on one side of the city and rush over. Then they hear about a potentially big order on the complete opposite side and, poof, they're off chasing that. The result? Their whole day is just this messy zigzag across town, trapped in a tangled web that they made themselves.
So the very first step to becoming a planner, it's not about having a better sales pitch. Nope, it's about mastering your environment. Before you can even think about winning over the customer, you have to win the war against traffic, against wasted time, against the city itself.
And the foundation of this whole system is something called the PJC, or Permanent Journey Cycle. Now, what's so smart about this is its main job. It gets rid of that one huge, draining decision you have to make every morning. Instead of waking up and asking, where should I go today? The plan is already set. The amount of mental energy you save is just massive.
And wow, this visual says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the Wanderer's spiderweb of total chaos, but on the right, you see the planner's strategy. They've divided their territory into 6 neat clusters, one for each day, Saturday through Thursday. And the rule is simple, but it is strict. Once you are in your cluster for the day, you do not leave it, period. Okay, let's zoom in even more. So you're inside your cluster, and you've got all these little lanes or gumalace. The snake method is this beautifully simple trick to cover them. Instead of wasting energy zigzagging across the road, you just methodically go down one side, hitting every shop. Then you turn around and come back up the other side. It's systematic, it saves energy, and you literally can't miss a single opportunity. You know, to really master a city, you have to understand its secrets. And the key insight here is that Dhaka's traffic isn't just random, meaningless chaos. It's more like a living, breathing thing, and it has a rhythm, a daily breath.
So here's the hack. You move against the breath. In the morning, when the city inhales and pulls everybody into the commercial centers, you do the opposite. You travel out to the farthest point of your zone. That road will be practically empty. Then you spend the day working your way back in. It's such a simple, counterintuitive trick, and it can save you hours.
And here's another one that might seem backwards at first. For those short little trips, our first instinct is to grab a ride, right? But the time you spend waiting for a rickshaw, haggling over the price, and then actually getting going, it's often way longer than if you just walked. The math shows that avoiding this rickshaw trap across, say, 20 calls can save you an entire hour every single day. All right, so we've figured out how to master our movement. We've literally reclaimed hours in our day. But what good is all that extra time if you waste it? So now, how do we make every single minute in front of a customer actually count? This is where we shift gears from mastering the path to mastering the pitch. A planner's strategy is all about syncing up with the shopkeeper's own energy levels. So in the morning, when the shopkeeper is fresh and has time, that's when you pitch new, more complicated products. You absolutely respect the midday dead zone. That's for lunch, prayers, and admin. And in that crazy evening rush, you don't dare pitch anything new. You just take the quick refill order, smile, and get out of their way.
It is so critical to understand the ecosystem you're working in. The distributor, they're not your boss. Think of them as your bank and your warehouse. Their main concern is moving money and product. The retailer, on the other hand, is the gatekeeper. They control what the final customer actually sees and buys. You need 2 totally different approaches for these 2 partners.
This right here, this is probably the single most important role of selling inside a store. The most valuable piece of real estate in any shop is the shelf that's right at the customer's eye level. Your job as a planner is to fight for that space. You got to make sure your product is clean, it's visible, and it's sitting right where a customer's eyes are going to land.
Look, A great strategy is pretty useless if you don't have the right tools to actually pull it off. So let's take a look at the physical arsenal, the actual stuff that helps turn a wanderer into a planner. This is the salesperson's daily weapon. It's not just a to-do list, it's a strategic guide. That outstanding column reminds you of the golden rule. Collection first, then you can talk about a new order. Sales target gives you a concrete goal for every single visit. And that competitor info column, that turns you into an intelligence agent, feeding crucial info back to your team.
Now, besides that planning sheet, there are 3 small, almost laughably simple items that are considered absolutely essential. They might seem like no big deal, but the psychology behind them is incredibly powerful.
What's so brilliant about this is the why behind each item. A physical calculator, for some reason, is just trusted more than a phone's calculator. A small towel to wipe your sweat before you walk in projects cool professionalism, not sweaty desperation. And using a little duster to clean your own products on their shelf, that shows a level of care and respect that builds an amazing amount of trust.
Okay, so you've put the strategy into action, you've mastered your route, and you're using all the right tools. How do you actually know if any of this is working? Well, you have to keep score. Let's look at the key numbers that tell you if you're winning. So, the most important metric is your strike rate. This is just the percentage of your visits that actually end with an order. The benchmark in this market is 60%. Think about that. If your strike rate is below 60%, you're effectively just a visitor. You're not a salesperson. This number tells you the cold, hard truth about your productivity. Next up is LPC, which stands for lines per call. See, it's not just about getting an order, it's about getting a bigger order with more different products. And what this shows so clearly is that selling more items isn't just offense, it's actually a defensive move. Every additional product you sell is one less space on that shelf for your competitor to sneak in. And finally, there's effective coverage. It is so tempting to only visit the 50 good shops where everyone knows your name and it's an easy sale. But look at the danger here. If you do that, you're leaving 75% of your territory completely undefended. It's basically a wide-open invitation for your competitors to just walk right in. A true planner's job is to cover it all. When you really look at it, this whole system is just a masterclass in strategy, in efficiency, and in applied psychology, all perfectly tailored for one specific chaotic environment. So, the final question I have for you is this. What are the unwritten rules for winning in your job, in your industry, in your city? What's your contraflow hack? What's in your must-carry kit that can transform you from a wanderer into a planner?